Hey VOTOMS fans, on the MAHQ website we have this thing called the AT-Fly. It is a support helicopter, and apparently basically it just drop ships all the VOTOMS robots into battle. So I have the Takara Tomy 1/48 scale version of it, and let me get a better angle here because I know I'm going to have to clip some parts off. Okay, so there's some images. This is why most VOTOMs have like hooks on their shoulders, because they're literally being drop shipped with steel cables. Alright, so this is a pretty big box. Takara Tomy, and the actual model is AG-EX11 in the series, so it's extra 11 I guess. There's never a date on the outside of these things. Sunrise owns VOTOMS, that franchise. And I actually think I have this robot already, but I was really after the helicopter. It's a little helicopter pilot I can see. Alright. So nice images on the back side. I don't know what that is in Japanese, of course, but you can open up parts, move parts, hang the thing, retract the cables, and then the robot itself has a lot of articulation, which is why I like this line of products, and I have many videos on them in case you haven't seen my channel. But I do have a playlist called Mecha and VOTOMS and all that stuff. All the Gundam and robots go into that playlist. Alright. Boy. Let's first look at the robot and see if I actually have it already, because if I don't, I'm going to actually assemble it. If I do, I'm just going to show you the fully assembled one already. Save some time, you know? My videos tend to last a long time. But I can shorten them, possibly. Alright, so this is the one that came out of the package. This is the one I already reviewed. Looks identical to me, right? Look at all the rivets. Yeah, the back of the legs, the bottom of the feet. So yeah, this is totally identical to what I already have reviewed, so I'm not going to dwell on it in this video. You can just look up Standing Tortoise and you'll find this video. So I'm going to put this one away. And we'll just put this guy aside for now. Let's put this back. Not sure why that is not going in. Okay, and so the gun handle disconnected. Alright, he'll just hang out in the background while we go over the AT-Fly thing. Let's get the clippers. Be a little faster. Got the extra parts for the robot itself. And there's a little name card thing, a fan club thing. Well, you know what? I'll show you that stuff. I just won't dwell on the robot parts. It's nice, you know, those things are all pre-painted, so save a lot of time. And there's a little unpainted character that drives the robot. Unfortunately, it's not painted. Alright, so yeah, a name card for the robot and a name card for the helicopter thing. Little fan club thing, and then the instructions. And here it says 2007. Let's see if there's anything important here. So this is all the robot assembly stuff. And the robot can actually crouch down, so the cockpit opens and stuff like that. that. The helicopter thing. So the cockpit opens, things spin, the thruster pivots, and then we gotta put that stand together. And the stand can go up and down, so that's kind of nice. Alright, so actually, while I get the stand together, then there's this index card, and it's got some stats on it, and you know, some information from the cartoon series. Just a blank card here. Set this out of here. Alright, so looking at the stand, this looks like the main part of it right here. This is all ABS, I assume. There's actually a production dial here. Yeah, it says like July or August of 07. It's interesting. Is this a separate piece? It feels like it's weird. Why would it? Well, alright. It's interesting. So the stand is almost like, it reminds me of a helicopter, you know, with skids and stuff like that. These are supposed to go on somehow. Oh, this is I see. This is a portable stand. As to why you'd want a portable stand, I don't know. But you can take this off, and then you can pop on this way. The wide feet. So I don't know. That's really strange. Maybe I guess you can balance it if it's just above. But when it's leaning, when the whole helicopter is coming down, that's why you need this additional support. But you know, it's all, well, I guess for certain cabinets, yeah, if you have a certain cabinet, this obviously takes up a lot of real estate, whereas this does not. So it's actually nice that they included the extra feet. Okay, so now you can swap these two out, it looks like. Just a vertical stand like that, but that's boring. So we're gonna put on the tilta stand, and wow, that's really tight. So I gotta spin it while I push it down. Alright, so that's rotates obviously, this rotates obviously, and then this top part rotates obviously. And there are some screws to maybe, oh boy, look at this though, this is a little, you see it's cracked already, so it's tensioned too much. Yeah, it's not good. Oh well. Can't change it now. Okay, so that's it for that. What are these four things? They are for the hanging hooks. The thing is, the hooks must be somewhere on that screw. Okay, so let me go back to this. Oh, I don't see any hanging hooks. This is all robot stuff. The hooks are black, according to the instructions. So, it's possible this is a used toy and the person did not include the hooks. Oh no, thankfully they're up here. Alright, let's get to the hooks later and just look at this helicopter here. Let me get a better, move in a little bit here, get some better light. Guess we'll start with the cockpit. So the cockpit is, you know, molded. The black molding is raised above the clear panels, so that's nice. And it's relatively clear enough that you can see right into the cockpit. You know, the paint details, so that's cool. Let's open this. It's easy to open. I guess you're supposed to, I don't know, I can't get my fingernail under that. Yeah, there's no easy way to open this. It looks nice and tight, but you literally have to jam something in there. So I don't know if it's supposed to go higher than that or not. Maybe not. This is brittle plastic. You don't want to flex it too much. So it's nice that there's, you know, a gray interior, but also a different color for the seat. And then there's actually a central stick, like a helicopter has. And then you have some paint apps here for these gauges there. Some Gravely's molded in, panel lines and all that stuff. The dashboard is black, some vents there. And then, yeah, you got some instruments, just blue and stuff like that. So that's cool. So the pilots, yeah, unfortunately it's not painted or anything like that. It actually, I wonder if it's the same pilot as the robot. I can't focus. There you go. I guess it is a. It's not a robot pilot, because the robots usually have helmets and goggles on, where this guy just looks like he is, well, not a hard helmet. It just doesn't look like a robot pilot. The thing is, I gotta get it past that windscreen. He's gotta get around. Oh, let's see, I'm trying to get around that flight stick. And I also gotta get around that computer. So I think tweezers might be necessary. I'm afraid of breaking that flight stick off. Hold on a second. I know I've lost focus, but I don't have 3 hands, so I can't do this. Yeah, this is weird. That flight stick is... I wonder if it can come out. Almost like you want to put this in after the pilot. No, that seems like it's glued in there. Maybe if we put the legs in first against the dashboard there. Nope, but then you gotta get... Man, this is really fidgety. Obviously you can see that. Alright. Almost. It's like the feet are getting stuck on the bottom of the dashboard, but then you got the flight stick in between its legs, making it really hard to get it past there. Alright, finally. Man, that was a hassle. Alright, well, anyways, you might want to paint that guy before you put him in, because it's a real paint. You'll scratch up all the paint, you know, if you painted him, unless you clear coated him a lot. But I'm too lazy to paint the figures. Alright, so you have these separate plastic pieces for these, like, I assume guns of some sort, but there's no indication that the guns are hollow or shooting anything out of them, so that's kind of weak. The skids are really thin. They really scare me. You know, it's not a rubber. You can hear. It's like the same plastic as like a model kit sprue tree. Yeah. So, I guess that's accurate to the or is it? You know, look at the images here I pulled up. This looks like a flat skid. Here, I don't know if it's a bar. I don't know if it's a round tube like the toy has. I almost feel like it has flat skis. So that would have been a lot stronger as a toy. I feel like whoever designed this just was lazy or thought it was a round tube. Which, you know, some really light helicopters in the real world do have, but I think flat skis would have made more sense on a toy. Yeah, that's really, really flimsy. You don't want to drop this. If you drop this, you're going to break those off. Okay, so I am not sure why. There's like a groove here. It might have to do with molding the part of the interior. There's some tan paint here for these bars. And then some panel lines are pretty nice. And yeah, it's pretty nice actually. So down here we have some sort of, I don't know, vent or something, or just ribbing. Here it says 2005, I guess that's when it was first made. These probably cover up some screws holding the top and bottom together, so it's nice that those are there. Actually, those are all probably screw covers. Okay. Yeah, some more tan paint there in that recess, and that's nice paint taps. We've got some gray vent here, tan intakes to the engines, and they're pretty deep intakes actually. Not bad. The wings are really thin. Then we have some more of this tan color on these areas here. Very neat. Little intake of some really shallow intake there. And then the props here, they spin, do spin nicely. The props are black, there's some silver, some gray, and then what are those things? I forget what they're called. the things that actually control the pitch of the blades. In fact, it's supposed to spin in this direction, the thicker side. Okay, and then so the instructions said this thruster pivots. Yeah, it's pretty tight. It'll hold its position. That's actually a pretty neat idea, I think, you know, to have a pivot vector thrust on a helicopter. There's some sort of exhaust ports here. Cool off the engine in there. Unfortunately, the back of these little fins is totally flat due to the molding process. I feel like there could be vents or something. Or if there was a dot in there, maybe it'd be a cool, like, brake, not a brake light, but, you know, just signal lights so other planes don't run into you. There's two rectangles. They're really open and deep, so that's interesting. Not sure. Additional thrusters, maybe. Okay, so back to the hooks here. So they're on ball pegs. But did they come out? I don't know if these things are supposed to come out. I feel like the instructions said they do. Yeah, hold on. See here? I think number one, it's supposed to come out. And then you swap them onto these cable things. Ah, but if this is a used toy, it's possible someone glued these in place. Yeah. I don't want to risk it. I have a feeling those are glued in place. But the theory is, you know, if you took those out, you'd pop... Oh, wait a sec. There's a circular bar inside there. And so you gotta pull it out. I think that is... But this is really sketchy, pulling on this little hook. It's so thin. You really want to pull on the gray box. Hold on here. This is gonna mar the plastic, though. So this isn't the best thing either, but there we go. Okay. Alright, so yeah, there's a crossbar in there. And now that we have the hooks out, you can do just a short height or a longer height. And then the end is rounded. I think you could probably slide it in sideways, yes. Well, this might be some molding inside of that, making it difficult. Alright, no, it's worked. So that one, yeah, see there's a molding flash there. Alright, so that's never going to fall off. That's actually well designed. And it's nice that you can actually angle it because it's a round shape. So I think it'd probably be smart to maybe put these back in the helicopter first. I'm not sure if it makes a difference if this should be in or out. But now, oh, but see, now these two wires are so flimsy, it's hard to push down and get this thing around that bar inside there. Oh, well, it did work. Never mind. Never mind. You just gotta wiggle it, I guess. Wiggle, wiggle. Yeah, I think you gotta wiggle it a little bit. Anyways, so yeah, you can have some swaying and stuff like that. Very neat. Ah, okay, that's why there are two rectangles back here. So this it rests on this flat part, and this is it's going to cantilever off those teeth. So let's push that in nice and far. It's a nice friction fit. Yeah, very tight. Unfortunately, the stand itself is not doing a good job. Yeah, it's almost like you want to have a rubber washer in here, I think, for a grip. Let's take this apart now and see what's going on inside this thing. Ron Phillips' head. Hold on, swap this out. these things slide apart. Yeah, there's no plastic on smooth plastic is not giving you, you know, good gripping ability. There's no molded in teeth or ratcheting system. So without molded in teeth or a ratchet, let's just double check on this side. Yeah, it's just smooth plastic on smooth plastic. So that explains why that doesn't work well. Probably the same here, but I gotta pull it out. Is this even, yeah, it is a two-part. Let's see if I can get it apart. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no teeth or anything like that there. So I'm gonna try to fashion up like a thin rubber gasket or something and see if that'll provide the extra traction. I also think I'm gonna apply some crazy glue to the back side of this, so yeah, because it's all cracked. So hold on a second. Okay, well, I managed to put some carbon fiber paste in there for bicycle seat tubes, and it worked. It's really tight though, and I did use some UV glue, but see, I actually broke it already. So this is so tight it just breaks the plastic. So that's not very good. It's a poorly designed stand, unfortunately. This is just a little too heavy for it. New problem arrived. The old standing Tortoise I have doesn't have the hooks to hook onto this thing. So those only come with this one. So although this looks identical, it actually has alternate shoulder pads. So this gray part snaps into the actual top of the shoulder, and the pad has the hook going through there. So I might as well actually make this guy if you're curious. So hold on a sec, I gotta grab some clippers. Let's get these shoulder pads off here. Obviously you can fast forward if you want. So I think this has to be glued in place. So these shoulder pads come off. Alright, just see if it's identical to the other one. You can see a tiny little bit of a recess, hopefully. Hold on. Right here, that's where you want to pull the direction. If you try to go that way, you're going to probably scrape off the nubs. So now the next part that has to come off is this. So that's just a friction fit. I'm going to glue this stuff in place because I'm just going to have this one permanently with the rings. I don't know why all the standing Tortoises just don't have this as a default, but I suspect it goes in there, and then yeah, that has to go in after the fact. So I want to glue this on first. Oh, but wait a sec, before I glue, maybe that doesn't make sense because I don't think you can move the arm. That's what happens. Alright, so if I pop that in, and this pops into the shoulder, you can't move this shoulder out anymore. So yeah, that's interesting. I don't think there's a way to design around it. If this ring was just part of this, when you hung it, you just have a big air gap, you know. It just looked like this, and that doesn't look right. It wants to look down but be hanging, so that's why they locked it into there. But it pretty much has to be a temporary locking, I think. if you glue it in place, you can't ever pose this guy outside of the. He's just gonna look, you know, weird if his arms never move. But I guess I could do it because I have two. But I don't know if I want to keep the second one. Really, I don't have much room to keep duplicates of stuff around. Okay. So now you got the antenna, extra armor bits. So hold on again. I gotta get these things going. Okay. Alright, that took forever. Anyways. So that's what he looks like in, hanging mode. You could swap out the hand, but I don't think it would make sense for him. Well, I don't know how he would get there without this weapon. It doesn't go on the back or anything like that. But I already have one with the weapon, so I think I'll just leave it off. Okay, so let me move this camera again. So hanging hooks. Okay, they can spin, right? Yep, they can spin, so that's good. Maybe it actually makes sense if you had them come in from the outside like this. Do it this way. I gotta spin this one. Okay, so that's what's cool about the hooks. Now I gotta try to tilt this down. So that's kind of weird, actually. Oh, if you want, yep, I gotta take this off here again. If I really want it high up, I gotta put this piece in. Alright. Alright, so, boy, different angle. gonna close out these windows because the toolbars are annoying. Finally. Alright, so ground mode, no hooks. It's really strange that this guy just wouldn't have hooks from the get-go. Or really, they somehow need to design a better way to keep this, I don't know, horizontal without it. So this arm peg just doesn't seem to want to stay. Let's try the other gun in this guy. Yeah, that's super loose too. I think it's this piece that's not very tight. Yeah, it's even worse. So that's unfortunate. But anyways, there's the hanging guy. So it's very cool. Although, yeah, now I totally understand why you'd probably want to swap out for the shorter ones, because unless you have a really big display case, this is very sizable. You know, it would also probably explain why it comes with those extra feet. Maybe when it's lower down, it doesn't need such wide feet, but the way it is now, yeah. What's a shame is you can't tilt the helicopter itself, because this is a hinge, it's not a ball or anything like that. You can only twist the direction here, although I don't know why you'd want to do that. So if you did want to get it to landing mode, you'd have to move that up, move that down, move that up, move that down, and then yeah, you can mimic it dropping off a robot pretty nicely actually, so that's kind of neat. But I think obviously it makes sense for it to hang. Let me swap out to these. Yeah, I'm gonna cut away so you'll have to watch me do it. Alright, there it is with the lower suspension. It still looks good, I think. So that's pretty neat, I think. One thing I've noticed though, on my old one, I bought this used, so I wasn't aware of anything. There's a square cuff that was missing from this side. I took it off this side. You'll see it without. And now, without that square cuff, the ball comes out really easily, right? So that square cuff is helping to trap the ball for the hand inside that wrist. And so now I don't think it ever had it. So I put it at least on the side with the gun as it's less susceptible to just falling out. So be mindful of that. If you do get this, you know, you might want to consider gluing the cuff onto this forearm. And then again, another part is this forearm slides off totally for like an arm punch feature, and then this thing unhinges, so that's interesting. If the arm punch thing doesn't matter to you, you might want to consider gluing that in place as well. Even with the cuff, the thing fell out, so that's too bad. It's just a used toy, I don't know or poorly designed. The scope dogs don't seem to have this problem, but they also don't have a weapon this big and heavy, so maybe that's it. I don't know. Or put some poster putty in there after the fact. That might be a better idea, because it'll fill in the gap. Alright, well anyways, be mindful of that. If you lose this, your hands are going to want to fall out all the time. So you might have to put like a ring or something around this if you do lose it. Maybe like a small washer or something like that would be a good solution. Okay, but that's not this video. This video is about the AT Fly with the hanging standing tortoise, and I think it definitely looks good. One thing I'm noticing though, even with the short ones, I think you still need to have this, because if this thing is level, like flying level, I just don't think you could get this thing way down here and expect this thing to be in a flight mode. Let me try, hold on. So, I don't think it's really going to work very well. I think the intention is this is supposed to be like a takeoff platform, but if I move this above this, meaning the highest point of this arm, something like that, then the helicopter's level, it just squishes down on the robot. So, yeah, I think it could mimic a pickup mode, but it's I'm not going to really show everything. So I think you kind of want to have this piece in there and have the guy suspended. Or, yeah, maybe just have this just as a stand for the helicopter guy without the hooks lowered. Maybe that's the intention there. Yeah, without the actual robot, maybe you don't need those super long legs, these things. Okay, well, thanks for watching today. I'll see you in the next VOTOMS video. Bye now.